Okay, we want to welcome everyone to our press conference from the NCAA second round here from the Frank Erwin Center and University of Texas in Austin. Coach and players, congratulations for the victory today. And Coach Schaefer, we'd like to have you give an opening statement, please.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Well, just first of all, I want to congratulate Utah. I haven't slept in 2 nights trying to figure out how to guard them. Coach Robert, she's done a heck of a job there, and they're young. Like I told her, the next 3 years, don't call me for a home and home because they're really going to be good, and they're so good right now for as young as they are, and they have such great chemistry, especially offensively. They can really be a nightmare. And, of course, it's hard to have nightmares when you can't sleep. So, but I just, it was real similar, y'all, to a few years ago. We had to play DePaul in the second round of an NCAA tournament. And they were so good offensively. And I just decided Saturday afternoon, I was like, you know what, we may have to outscore them. So I just started looking at film, not on defense and how to guard them. I'd seen enough of that. I started watching film about, okay, we got to find a way we might have to outscore them a little bit. I'm telling you, these kids today, that's about as good as we've played offensively in a while. They executed some great stuff. And again, you have to really tip your hat to this team. I mean, these kids right now are playing at such a high level against some really good teams and great coaches. And today, that's a pretty good. I'm not sure we didn't play maybe better than we did against Baylor. And we played really good against Baylor. But offensively today, and then the second half defensively, we really made it, made them turn it over a little bit more and miss some shots. And I think they had 12 turnovers in the second half. They had 7 at half. But I just thought our tenacity defensively was really good the second half. And, again, we talked about it. It's everybody's got a plan coming out, and they attack us. They'll backdoor us a time or two, or, they'll do something to us to attack our pressure. But at the end of the day, our pressure usually wears on you a little bit, and I thought it did today. And Rory was really special leading our team. She was special defensively. Look, when we have kids asking to come out of games because they're tired, that means they're playing really hard because we are in really good shape. Amo, my son goes, hey, Dad, Amo, she's playing really good. Like, where's that been? And I'm like, well, son, she's been hurt, and it takes a while to get back sometimes when you've been hurt like she was. And, I mean, she's playing obviously like the kid we knew she was going to be. And she's getting more and more comfortable every day. She's playing with confidence. But she's worked at it. This is what happens when somebody puts their head down and goes to work. She could have been woe is me. She could have hung her head. I got hurt. I can't do it. Next year no. The kid put her head down and went to work. And you have to appreciate and respect somebody that does that. I told Aaliyah Matharu down there, I said, I just woke up this morning and had a peace. There was something when I woke up. I just had a peace about the day, and I had a really good feeling she was going to play good today. And boy, did she. She played spectacular today. Defensively, offensively, made some great decisions. Got on her. She turned down a layup because she was unselfish, throwing it over there to Joe, who was wide open on the wing. But just really, really played tremendous, I thought. And, again, their energy from these two out on the perimeter, Amo just finishing everything. She's 9 for 10. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And, I'm not sure I remember the one she missed. But just really, she's tough. And again, you've got to be happy for kids, y'all, that work, that put their head down and work. This is a team that is continuing to grow and mature. Y'all weren't in our locker room Friday, and we challenged them, because we didn't feel like we played up to our standard at Texas on Friday. And again, give Fairfield a lot of credit, but I think these kids felt that same way. Saturday, I had their attention. We had good practice, didn't we? A lot better than the 3 previous, huh? Yes. And so we locked in. Shoot around was pretty good this morning. Coach still didn't, still worried about trying to guard them. And they had 30 at halftime, but we had really done a great job offensively. Joe came out. I'm not sure. I thought she's going to miss today. And the ones she missed, y'all, were pre-short ones. So she did she came ready to go and did a heck of a job as well. So just this is why you do what you do in coaching. I can't be more happy for my players. I know how hard they work. I know how dedicated they are. I know how badly they want to be good. And I couldn't be more happy for them. And our crowd today, to do it out there in the last athletic event in this great arena, to send this arena out that way, it was really, really cool, really special. And so I told them, enjoy the day, but don't drink the poison. There'll be people talking about them on TV now for the next day or so. You better not drink the poison. You better stay humble and hungry. And so I'll remind them of that tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And I think they will. I think they understand what happened last week. We're on to bigger and better things. That championship's over and done with. Now it's time to try to get to another one.
Thank you, Coach. We're going to take questions now for the 3 student athletes. We're going to start with Danny Davis, Austin American Statesman.
All 3 players. What was the mindset coming out of halftime? You guys had a comfortable lead, but over the first 5 minutes of the third quarter, you guys really put the pedal to the metal, I guess.
We usually always want to punch first every first 5 minutes. So, I mean, we've been pretty good at coming out into the quarters and stuff and punching first, and that's what we really focus on. So.
Yeah, I mean, basically what Rory said, we were like, just don't settle. We're up right now, but let's just keep pushing the lead, and we executed really well.
Punch first. That's always our motto, punch first.
And then Aaliyah or Rory Matharo, Nada. Is this what you all have been seeing from AMO the entire season, practice and stuff?
Yes. She has always been this good around the rim and just in general. I think today was the first time
So it's my fault?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But, I think today was the first time I saw Leah shoot a mid-range jumper, and, as soon as she caught the ball, I was like, shoot it, cash. It's going in. But, she's always been really good around the rim. You can pass her the ball from any spot on the floor, and she's going to catch it and do something with it down there in the post, so.
Yeah, I've been seeing it from her since high school to now, coming into Texas together. I mean, I don't expect anything less, so.
Next question, Kirk Bowles, Austin American Statesman, front row here. Then we'll go to Danielle Lerner from the Houston Chronicle.
Rory, I don't know if that was as complete a game as y'all can play, but y'all are obviously hitting your stride right now. Are you as impressed with the way you are playing as everybody else? And is there anybody you feel like y'all can't beat in this field?
I mean, we're just focusing on ourselves right now. I mean, it starts in practice every day, and like he said, we had a really good practice the other day. And I mean, I'm not really as much as I'm worried about our opponents, but we have to get better ourselves first. So, how you get better? Practice. What do you have to improve? There's a lot of things that we can improve on the offensive end and defensive end. Just limiting turnovers. We had 12, which isn't too bad, but I mean, we had 7 in the first, and that means we only had 5 in the second. So, I mean, that and then just focusing on communicating on defense, and we'll be good. We'll be good.
I'm not going to answer that because of how he's looking at me, but one game at a time, that's what we put in our team group chat. We want to do one game at a time. We're not going to think too far ahead, even though, you see a lot of upsets, and it's just important to stay within us. It's about our team, our teammates, each other. And I think if we do that, then
We're capable.
we'll be fine. Yeah, we're capable, very capable.
Aaliyah, I saw when you sat down, you looked at the box score and you pointed something out to Amo. What were you telling her?
She went 9 for 10. she only missed one shot. That's big. That's really good.
She did the same thing. She was 6 for 7.
Yeah. Did you guys realize that, each of you, when you were in the game?
No.
I was honestly just playing. Aaliyah's a great passer, and so I know I get a lot of assists from both of them. They're great passers, and so I just have to get position, and I know they'll give it to me. But I was just happy we won at the end of the day. That's all I was worried about.
And then for all three of you, Coach was describing his sense of peace this morning when he woke up. Did you guys have that, or were you still a little nervous, or at what point did that kind of sink in where you're like, all right, like, we got this?
I mean, I had some peace. It came from practice, though. Like you can walk into the gym and see in everybody's eyes that like they're ready. Like, I mean, it's winter. I mean, winter, go home. I mean, we're not ready to go home.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I have the feeling. And she was like, what feeling? And I was like, the same one we had before we played Baylor. I'm telling you, that morning I woke up and I was like, this is like, we got this. I had that same feeling this morning, so I was really confident.
I got the feeling too. I don't know if people know, but like, you ever get like, you know, like they say when your palm itch, that means you're gonna get some money, or like your right eye's jumping. I don't know. Like I'm really big into my spirituality, I guess you could say, or like intuition. But like, I just had a feeling like last night something just came over me and I shook in the bed and I'm like, wait a minute, like, you know, what's that? But all day, my right eye was jumping. I came in and when we started shooting, my first shot did not even hit the rim. Like it just went right in. And I was like, oh, okay, let me calm down and, you know, just stick with them. Like, they're really good. So.
Our next question will come from Chip Brown. Just identify your affiliation and ask your question, please.
Chip Brown with Horns 24/7. For Aaliyah Matharu, can you just talk about watching Aaliyah Moore's star rise, confidence rise, and what does that do for this team?
I think it's really big because you come in as a freshman and it's not the easiest thing. It wasn't easy for me, and like you watch her go through her different obstacles of, okay, well now I'm in a new system, I'm in a new offense, and then learning how to play defense under Coach Schaefer's style is like, it's different and it can be challenging, but like nobody on our team is gonna give up, and she didn't give up. Even though she got hurt and she had to sit out a few games, it was like constant. You know, like, she just had an itch to hurry up and get back. And, like, she took her time with her injury, but, like, when she was ready, you could just tell because in practice everything was different. You know, the other 4s and 5s they had somebody to actually compete with. And, like, you just watch her constantly get rebounds and get stops. And it's just like, oh, okay, well, now she's ready. Like, she gets the hang of it, you know, the flow of the offense. She learned her plays. I don't know how, but she learned them. And it's exciting to know that, like, she wasn't going to give up. Like, she didn't give up. So to know in the back of our minds that we had a teammate go down early in the season and she came back and she just kept fighting and kept pushing, it's just exciting to know that we have another tough player on our team.
1 second before we go to the gentleman in the back row, if anyone who is joining us remotely, the media members, if you do want to ask a question, we have time for 2 more questions for our student athletes. Please use the raised hand function if you want to ask any questions of the players or of Coach Schaefer. Gentleman in the back, please.
Adam Rosso from Spectrum News for Aaliyah Moore. Other than health, you know, the last 3 games, elimination games, if you will, good opponents, how do you explain kind of rising to the occasion in these moments?
I mean, I think like Coach said, I put my head down and went to work. That's all you can do. I mean, be ready when your name's called, like I've probably said a million times. But I mean, that's it. Hard work, man. That's what it takes. When this team is really tough, and so you have to be tough physically and mentally. That was a big thing for me coming back. But yeah, I mean, and I was surrounded by teammates that had my back, and they were like, just take your time, but, you know, hurry up. But whenever you come back, you know, we got you. So, yeah.
Final question for the student athletes from the back, please.
Dylan Scott with Spectrum News. Just for the players here, what did that mean to close the Irwin Center with a win of this magnitude?
It was definitely an honor to play here. I mean, it was only 1 year for me, but I mean, I just love our fan base. It gets so loud in there and really hot when a lot of people are there. But I mean, I was honored to play there, and I'm ready for the Moody Center.
Yeah, I'm excited. I got to experience 1 year in the Irwin, but I'm ready for Moody. I'm really excited.
It was a blast. I mean, did y'all see that? All those people there for us, like, it was fun.
Yeah, And also shout out to Coach Schaefer because he's worked really hard on getting us a fan base. So yes, we appreciate that. And fans for coming and listening. Thank you guys.
All right, thank you, ladies, so much. Best of luck to you in the Sweet 16. Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, we're going to turn this over to Coach Schaefer, but we only have time for 2 questions. Utah has to get to the airport for their flight. We'll start with Danny Davis, Austin American-Statesman, please.
Vic, to start the second half.
It better be a great long question because I've never had this issue before. 2 questions. We just wanted to go to the Sweet 16, and I'm on a time frame.
Well,
Lord, help us.
I expect you to go 5 minutes on this.
Okay, give it to me.
You know, in the second half, you didn't reset your starting lineup. You kind of mixed it up, kept the Aaliyahs on the floor and Audrey. What was the decision behind why you decided to start the second half with that lineup?
I just felt like they could give us what we needed defensively. I didn't want them to get away from us. I just have a lot of respect for Utah. They have, you know, they're well coached and they're really hard to deal with offensively. And I just felt like that group was the ones that we needed to go with. And I almost started Aaliyah this morning. I almost started Audrey. And when we talked about it before the game, I almost started both those kids. And Dee and I talked about it, Deanna and I talked about it, and my superstition won over, and I started the lineup I've been starting. But I really wanted to start Aaliyah and Audrey. And they just that's 2 kids I'm really comfortable with right now, and obviously they've played some really big minutes for us. And then Amo, you know, obviously Lauren has been tremendous, but when I need to give her a blow now, Amo has just, I mean, I guess I'm the village idiot for not playing her, you know, a lot sooner. You know, she's playing at such a high level right now, but you know, y'all, she hasn't been that way until here lately. And she's just really getting so much more comfortable, and you know, her injury is in the past now, and the kid's a confident kid. I mean, that's I told y'all, that's the 6th ranked kid in the country coming out of high school, and the kid's a competitor, and she's tough, and so you know, it was certainly something, Danny, I thought about long and hard, you know, with who I was going to have in there. But I told Aaliyah this morning shoot around, I said, you need to be ready to go, and you need to be ready to go for an extended period of time. And don't turn the ball over, and don't be fouling people 60 and 70 feet from the rim. I said, if you'll do that, I won't take you out. And so, you know, those kids played our whole team played well. I thought everybody that came on the floor did a good job against a really good basketball team that's well coached, and it's really a great win for us today.
Coach Terry Middleton from Horns Illustrated. Between Friday and today, is there any better way to sum it up as the quote that you have on the wall of the practice center? It's not what we do, but how we do it.
Yeah.
And can you talk about the coaching changes that you made outside of we have to score more than they are?
Well, again, that's just that's who we are. You know, we can't. I tell them all the time, y'all, that just be Texas. Texas is good enough. Just be Texas. Don't try to morph into somebody that you're not. Don't try to become some player that we all have our roles, and they're pretty designated right now. The challenge for a coach this time of year, everybody wants to be a star, but nobody wants to star in their roles. Everybody's got a job to do, and I need them to all be good at what they're doing. And I think that's where we are right now. And so, our motto is not what we do, but how we do it that separates us from the rest of the country. That's why I couldn't be more proud. I mean, I'm so happy for these kids because I know the sacrifice that these kids make. I know how hard they work, what they do in practice. I told them my devotional today, I watched 2 sermons and I had a devotional. One of them was on hope. And I told them in the pregame, I said, my hope is for them. Everything I do, I hope they are successful in life. I hope that they, are taking care of themselves and preparing themselves. But if all we're doing is hoping that we win, it ain't going to happen. God does for those that do for themselves. And so, you know, it's really important that our kids embrace that. And so part of that was, okay, we got to come out and punch first. We got to get them on their heels. We got to be in attack mode. We talked about it before the game. We talked about it coming out of in the third quarter. But that's what we do. You know, it's how we play. It's how we play the game. It's playing on Sundays, honoring the game. It's the Lord's day, but we got to play. So let's show him a little appreciation and by how we play the game, how we honor the game, how we respect the game. Let's show honor and respect to our parents who have done so much for us and sacrificed so much for us to be here where we are today in this moment at the University of Texas, playing for the right to go to the Sweet 16. Let's go show some appreciation and be honorable. And I think that's what our kids, you know, I've got a lot of great kids in that locker room, man. They're great kids. I mean, I love them to death, but, you know, you can want something so bad for somebody. And look, y'all, I wasn't real happy. Anytime you win in college basketball, you need to be happy about that. It's hard to win. It's hard to win in college athletics. You know, and I kicked myself coming out of the locker room the other night. And y'all, I'm not perfect. But I did. I kicked myself a little bit because we just won an NCAA tournament game, yet it's my job to make sure I'm real with them and they understand what's coming down the pipe. And what's coming down the pipe is the University of Utah, which is a heck of a basketball team that's well coached, and they run a bunch of stuff. And if we're not ready and we don't play any better than we played tonight, we will get beat. So you have to pat them on the back, but at the same time, you got to be real with them and let them know, hey, if we play like this Sunday, it ain't going to be good. So there's lots going on. As a coach, you're trying to get a young, inexperienced, immature team to understand. And so there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of moving parts. But, man, you saw a heck of a team, you know, heck of a game today, two great teams. But you saw the University of Texas play at a really high level today. You got to give those kids credit, man. They were really special today. And you know what? We could have played a lot of people today. And I think it would have been a good day for Texas. So my challenge now is to try to keep that going. And that is hard because they're going to go listen to a bunch of people talk. And we got some folks' attention, I'm sure, today. But we got to stay humble and hungry. So appreciate y'all being here. I guess I'm been shown the door. We good?
We are good, Coach. Thank you so much.
All
Best
right.
to you in the Sweet 16.
Appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all so much for covering the game. Praise the Lord and hook 'em horns.
Use the raised hand function, and we can call on you after we talk to the folks, after we get questions from the people here in Austin. Right now, we're ready to start our post-game press conference with University of Utah. Coach Roberts, if you could just give us an opening statement, please.
Hi, everyone. Appreciate you being here. Incredibly proud of my team for the season that we had. You know, I told them after the game that, you know, sometimes you just have to give the other team credit. I thought Texas played just incredibly well. And, you know, I've watched so much film on them, and that's the best I've seen them shoot, at least in the games I saw. You know, you kind of have to pick your poison with them. And we, you know, kind of wanted them to take long contested twos to try to eliminate easy baskets around the rim and, kick out threes. But, man, they made shots. And so, whether that was our defense or their, like, whatever, you just have to tip your hat. They did a phenomenal job today. They were really, really good. And they shoot like that, the way they defend, they're going to be really hard for anyone to beat. So congratulations to them on their game today, obviously, and wish them nothing but the best in the rest of the tournament. As far as our team went, today was not our best day. We certainly missed the size of Peyton McFarland today inside our other center. We were a little outmatched there. But I am incredibly proud of our team. We're so young. Our culture is fantastic. Our kids are bought in. They play super hard. They're coachable. And, I told them afterwards, too, they should be upset. They should be disappointed, but time will give perspective on what we achieved this year. And I'm excited to, see what we can do in the future. But I don't want to move on too quickly. I think these guys deserve to enjoy the season we had. And, only one team ends up not bummed in this tournament at the end. So, painful today, but so proud of my players.
Coach, thank you so much. We're going to direct the questions now to the players. First question will come from front row here, please. Mark Rosner from the Associated Press, front row. Thank you.
Kennedy, what happened? You guys had a lot of good looks in the first quarter, and then they kind of shut that off. What changed?
Yeah, I think they're a great defensive team. We talked about that. That's what they take pride in, and we knew that coming in. So I think we started the game well, and so, yeah, coming back out after halftime, they definitely took away looks. And second quarter, we had a little bit of a rough second quarter, and I think they just hound down on their defense. So I think that's where we struggled a little bit, but, yeah, I think that's where it changed.
And I think, too, I'll add, in the second quarter, we were right there, and then we had 3 turnovers in a row, and then suddenly it was like bang, 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 and, then we're down 10 or whatever. So it just kind of happened fast, and then we were in a bit of a deficit.
Next question, please.
Danielle Lerner with the Houston Chronicle. Drew, it seemed like Texas in the second half was able to kind of speed you guys up a little bit at times, maybe with their pressure and force you guys to play a little rushed and hurried. Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, I think we started off the game very well as far as pressure-wise. I think those first couple of minutes we really got reversals and we're getting wide open shots. Maybe we didn't make them all the time, but we were in control. And then I think that second half, maybe they just got into our heads a little bit and we were trying to do a little too much as far as we just wanted somebody to make a play and kind of relying on other people to do stuff and kind of got away from what we do best. But I think as far as a team and playing a team like Texas, we, for the most part, did really well. And like Coach Rob said, we're a very young team. So I was so proud of how our team handled it and just kept fighting and never gave up until the end of the buzzer. So.
Next question, please. Back row.
Lauren Moses from Valley Sports. Drew, what are you taking away from this experience? Obviously, you've had the most experience on the team from not only this tournament, but just your experience overall at Utah and kind of what you might have learned from Coach here that you plan to take on with you.
Yeah, it's just been awesome. I think coming into college, you never know what to expect, and as a young freshman, you're like, oh, I'm going to get able to play. I'm just going to have the best. Like, you just came out of high school, you think you're just the best person ever. And then when you get to college, it's just learning and growing as a person and as a player. And I think Coach Rob is so good at that. Just kind of bringing her under her wing, and she's going to yell at you. She's going to get after you, but at the end of the day, it makes you a better person. And I think just as my career here at Utah, like, the way that the team has just played this year and we've all come together and put those puzzle pieces to where they're supposed to fit, I think it was just an amazing month, I'd say. Our Pac-12 tournament was so fun. That's kind of what you dream of, upsetting people and just making a run and having everybody come together and cheer for you. And then obviously this tournament, just not necessarily just showing up and being grateful to be here, but beating Arkansas by pretty convincingly, and then today, just playing Texas to the end. It's just been so amazing, but it's all come together, and my teammates, I just give them so much credit. We have so much fun on and off the court, and I give credit to them.
Next question, gentleman in the back row, please.
Kennedy, kind of that same question, your perspective on this season kind of as a whole and what Utah fans can look forward to moving ahead.
Yeah, I hate to talk about last season, but just seeing the season that we had and just seeing what I personally and I think everyone took away what they need to get better at. And we knew at the end of the season last year that we were not going to have a season like that again. Everyone was very determined for that, to make that happen. And so I think starting in summer workouts, you could just tell it was going to be a special year. Everyone was so determined, brought in great freshmen and their impact that they had. And I think everyone learned from each other and got better every day. So, yeah, I think we definitely turned it around, and the season was a blast. Definitely a highlight for me, too, was the Pac-12 tournament. That was super, super fun, and being able to experience this and be a part of March Madness. But we'll be back.
We'll go to the last row question, and then we'll come up here to Kirk Bowles from the Austin American-Statesman. Go ahead.
Lauren Moses, Valley Sports. Drew, Coach, I know something that I always, every time I've been at one of the press conferences, you always thank the media for being here, which I really appreciate because when I was playing, our coaches never did that. It's just not something I've heard about. But Drew, how have you or your experience playing these 4 years, how have you kind of seen the trajectory of the women's game grow? How have you maybe seen like more recognition of Utah women's basketball and other women's basketball programs around the country?
Yeah, totally. Definitely coming in as a freshman, I know Coach Rob and I talk about this all the time, is we wanted to do something that Utah hasn't done in the past, and we want to pack the Huntsman and get a lot of people to support women's basketball. And I think just our administration and our coaches, they're always on that to get people to show up to our games. And this year, I think having a year like COVID kind of hurt that a little bit, but I think having all the people of Salt Lake watching us play this year and just the style that we play is so it's just so fun, and you get so many fans involved, and it's been so cool just to watch it grow and grow and grow, and I don't see that changing anymore. I see the change. It's definitely going to happen more in the future because we just play such a cool style of basketball, and it's fun. Even with just this representation of having March Madness for women's basketball, I think there's only room for growth, and I think it's going to come in the future, so it's really awesome.
We'll take our final question for the student athletes from Kirk Bowles, Austin American-Statesman.
Yeah, for both of you ladies, I'm curious if y'all expect Texas to make a deep run the rest of the tournament, and how would you compare them to Stanford, which I know y'all have had some trouble with, and they beat Stanford earlier?
Yeah, I think we have to give props to Texas. They played such a great game today, and they're very athletic, and they know how to play well as a team. But I do think playing in the Pac-12, we're always going to support the Pac-12. We love our conference, and we're the conference of champions. And Stanford is so, so good. They have a very good coach, and they play also well as a team. So if Texas does make it any farther, it will be a good matchup against Stanford if they win too. But I'm always a big supporter of the Pac-12, and we got to back the Pac.
Yeah, I echo that. I'm not sure what else to add to that. That was great.
Don't answer that.
All right, I think that we'll conclude the press conference with Drew and Kennedy. Thank you so
Nice
much
job,
for
you
joining
guys.
us, and congratulations on a great season, young ladies.
Good job.
All right, questions for Coach, please.
Lynn, I know you mentioned the 3 turnovers, which was a key, but there was also a sequence when they missed free throws, got the rebound.
Yeah.
Can you just discuss kind of how that was kind of a almost symbolic of the game without having
Well, it was at a
Peyton in there?
pivotal point, and there was a one of those bang calls where Aaliyah Moore caught it at the right elbow and attacked, and I thought Jenna got in front of her. Jenna Johnson got in front of her, had legal guarding position. Moore lowered her shoulder, and made it, and those are hard plays to officiate. Those are tough calls that went against us. Then it went to a media timeout, and then they came out and got 2 offensive rebounds on free throws, and that was just kind of a momentum killer on some level with the timeout, and So yeah, I do think there was, for whatever reason, and that's how games work. There's just some things can trigger runs for reasons that you can't really explain. But, you know, if you look at our shooting percentage, we shot 51%. You know, that's pretty good. But the problem is that it comes down to chances, and we always talk about that. The opportunities, you know, we need to have more opportunities than, because we can score it, we can shoot it. But, you know, we only had 2 offensive rebounds, and we turned it over 19 times. So those are missed opportunities for us to get a good shot up, and their pressure is very good. But I felt like when we got a clean look, we were able to, you know, shoot for percentage. But on the other side, they shot 85% in the second quarter. I mean, that's just incredible. And then they shot 64% from the game. And yes, I don't think our defense was as tough as it needed to be, as physical as it needed to be. But I also think good offense beats good defense, and they were feeling it today.
Next question, Danielle Lerner from the Houston Chronicle.
64%, by the way, is a season high for Texas this season, field goal percentage.
Feels like it, yeah.
But there was one point where they hit 16 shots in a row from the end of the second quarter into the end of the third quarter. Like, what are you thinking as a coach during that streak? And did you see them doing different things, or was it just kind of like hammering their mid-range spots over and over?
Yeah, you know, some of it was missed assignments. We had a game plan, and you know, and it's a tough place to play. There's a lot of people, and you know, sometimes things can snowball a little bit. I've been on the other side of those runs, and the rim just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and everybody in the crowd gets into it, and everybody's just feeling it. We tried to go zone, and they just kind of picked it apart and made shots, and it was tough. It's kind of like, you know, we needed to find something, and I thought our defense was much better in the fourth quarter. We were just more physical and aggressive, but the damage had been done.
Mark Rosner, Associated Press.
Got one day between games. How do you, can you simulate, you know, practice against that type of defense? Is there a way to?
No, but I mean, you know, they're very big and athletic, but we've got some great teams in the Pac-12 that defend, and Arizona's one of them. Very similar defensively. You know, for me, I think the turnovers hurt us. That they were able to get out and go, especially in that second quarter. But you know, we ran some backdoor stuff that worked, and yeah, no, I mean, and to answer your question, is there any way to simulate that in practice the day before? No. But just like they can't simulate our offense the day, you know, like it's a lot of film, mental reps, physical, like walk-through stuff. So.
Kirk Bowles, Austin American-Statesman, with the next question.
Do you want to answer the weak link question?
I mean, today there wasn't any weak links. That's all I can answer. I mean, that's all I know. I haven't, you know, being in a different conference, being the first time we've played them, they didn't seem to have any today. That's the honest truth.
And y'all went 0-3 against Stanford, I think, this year. And
Thank you, yes.
Sorry. Before a great finish and
Thank
a
you.
wonderful season.
Thank you, thank
for
you.
which you're to be commended.
Yes, thank you.
They have that look now of a complete team. They beat Baylor to win the Big 12 tournament. Obviously, they're kind of hitting their stride. I wondered if you'd see any similarities between them and Stanford, who would be in their way.
Yeah. Stanford's legit. I mean, and they are the defending national champion. Until someone beats them, they still are the national champion. They are so well coached, and they're a machine. That's the best way, you know. I think what makes them great, I think they're actually better than they were last year. You know, last year they had Kiana Williams, which was just a superstar WNBA draft pick, point guard, that when things went sideways for them, she was able to save the day. And you saw, I think actually Texas game in Palo Alto was a perfect example of that. Stanford was still trying to figure out who was going to fill that void. And you know, Tara's the GOAT, and she figured it out. And now they're firing on all cylinders, and because they don't have that superstar point guard in Kiana Williams, they're more of a balanced attack, which makes them even harder to defend. So I mean, I don't know how many games they've won in a row, 20-something. and our league is good, and for them to go undefeated in it says something. So if it ends up being Texas, Stanford, that's going to be a great game. But my hypothetical money's on Stanford. Just got to, Pac-12.
All right, I think that will do it for our questions for Coach Roberts. Coach, we really enjoyed watching your team this week. Congratulations again
Thank
on the
you.
great successes that you've had this year.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Coach.
you all being here. I really do. Thanks.